This is episode 392 of GI Joburg. My name is Steve. Paul and Rob are at a comic convention this weekend, so I'm soloing it. Only kidding. I brought a friend, a stand-in guest. It's McDjAcDc, but you can call him Andrew. Hello, sir.
Hey. How's it going on?
Now, by way of introduction, are you still a Copperhead fan?
Of course, always.
World #1 Copperhead fan. What is it about Copperhead that does it for you, Andrew?
I guess he's just I figured it's related to the region that I have grown up in, the dialect, the swamp, the bayou, and it's just kind of easy to kind of correlate. You know, I would like to say I could correlate with gun ho, but unfortunately, no. But
I don't know, dude. Copperhead's pretty swole as well.
well,
Dude,
true. I don't think he's big as gun ho, but yeah, I love just his voice, his demeanor. Of course, an airboat. Come on.
Nice.
All he's missing is some missiles on that thing, and we're good to go.
And everyone's going to be treated to your dialect on this episode. Where is that from originally?
As far as
your accent, sir.
Oh, Alabama. Down here in the swamp in Alabama.
Love it. Now, off air, you mentioned to me in conversation that you really are a fan of what Super 7 is doing in their Ultimates range. And to date, GI Joburg has not really had much of an opinion on the Ultimates. None of us have really gotten to grips with them, had a few kicking around. You, however, are you up to date? Do you have all of them?
I do have all of them. I even got the latest two of the Python Patrol version Destro and also the Desert Deco Flint. I think the articulation is spot on for cartoon accuracy, in my opinion. Hopefully, when we get to them, you guys can see. And of course, make your own opinion. Left or right. I do know, like I said, I think they're 7-inch scale, so they don't really go with your classified line. And I kind of look at it where GI Joe's classified is kind of like a masterpiece version in itself. I mean, there's really articulated, really nice. However, I think Super 7 just goes a top-notch further with the cartoon accuracy, in my opinion.
And not to mention all the additional accessories they pack into each presentation.
Yes, if you get on the 4-pack sometimes or whatever they offer, they'll throw in a little bonus.
Oh yes,
figure.
if you purchase from Super 7, that's fine.
Yep.
I'll make you big.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So in this bonus pack, you've got an XMLR, you've got Flint's shotgun, you've got a Cobra laser submachine gun and pistol, and a Cobra Commander pistol, plus a bunch of other stuff. There's a backpack. Really nice stuff. And it straddles the line between Sunbow accuracy and like the original toy accuracy. Oh, I like that. The back of the card is like a kind of a blueprint sort of two-tone. It's white on blue.
Yep.
Really, really nice.
But yeah, sometimes if you get in there, you get into those, and those are pretty good.
And they throw them in for free if you purchase from Super 7's website. Or
correct, and they do it with various lines too. I did the Ninja Turtle line as well too. All I wanted was the 4 turtles that they've got by Super 7, and they threw in a pack of alternate heads for them. So it's I have to agree. I think Super 7, like I said, they're a little pricey, but I think the look that you get, and I think it's kind of worth it in my opinion.
So what is it at the moment? It's $55 US. Is that correct?
Correct. And then sometimes when you do if you go in on the 4-pack, I mean, there's like a $10 or $15 discount if you get them all at one time right then and there.
Yeah, and the extra bonus weapons and equipment kind of soothe the burn to your wallet.
True.
Well, cool, man. Then it makes most sense to be a completionist and to buy it from the source. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they can dole it out front, and I'll have to admit, I liked Super 7's. They offer shop pay or whatever. If it's neat, you just use 4 payments and they split it. So you're like $25, $35 every 2 weeks or whatever, and I think that's a lot easier to swing when you're like, hey, I'm gonna buy this, and it's like $200 something, so it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, hey, you're not quite eating instant noodles.
That's true.
Right. So I think
throw some wieners up with the ramen.
So I think the easiest way to do this, should we go like wave by wave and just, for anyone listening to this who's not acquainted with Super 7 Ultimates, like what exactly you get in each pack. It's a fascinating deep dive. Like my favorite game when looking over these pictures is determining what source material each equipment comes from, whether it's the comic book, the cartoon series, or the action figures original setup. So let's do it, man. You've got a few kicking around behind you, I think. So maybe we'll
I think you got somebody kicking behind you.
yeah, very surreptitiously sneaking in on me. But
That's pretty
wave
wild.
one was so there was a Comic-Con exclusive, which was the Blue Bat, which was taken right from the Bat's debut appearance in the comic book. Did you get that one?
I did. Some of them I did leave up in the playroom if they were sealed in a bag. I know the bat you're talking about. I think it was the SDCC for that year's.
Correct. Oh, yeah.
And then, which is weird though, is it here in the States, it eventually ended up at Walmart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Was it easy enough to get them? I suppose they had
gosh, yes.
Okay.
In fact, I bought a couple of extras because they had them marked down. They couldn't push them out. Now,
well, this is the thing with classified as such strong competition. It takes a certain kind of Joe collector to really want the Ultimates over the more numerous, more affordable, and frankly more like articulated classified versions. Like you have to draw a line in the sand. You're like, no, this is the kind of Joe aesthetic I want to go for. These clean, Sunbow accurate lines with all these show and comic book accurate accessories. So this is really, to quote my friend Ben, buzzing your berries right now.
Yeah, when they hit retail, especially if they're like an exclusive, and with anything with Walmart or a big retail store, if you're looking for prestige packaging and whatnot, you can forget it. The ones I've got on clearance of that particular Blue Bat, the outer shell and stuff was scuffed up, but once you took the sleeve off, it was decent inside.
Ah, yes, you do like to keep your action figures on card or in box.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. It just depends. But we will go with dude.
Oh, he's unsleeving something. Okay,
Bag's already been opened, so if I have to keep that glare off.
No, that's quite all right. So they all come with a slipcase, a lovely kind of GI Joe green, sort of metallic look to them. It's got the explosion back set into the box. Yeah, no, that's fine. We can see. And then kind of a cartoon still on the back with a little file card or dossier info. I love all the little inset panels and screens. Like, you could effectively take this box and use it to populate a sort of GI Joe headquarters diorama.
I need to be able to figure out how to turn the background black at one point, dark mode, whatever, so it could get the reflection.
That's all right, Andrew. We've got the gist. So, lovely presentation. You are definitely getting a premium experience for your $55. But of the first wave, you've got the Battle Android Trooper. You've got, of course, Cobra Commander with that amazing pink cape.
Yeah, Cobra Commander is my favorite from that series. He's just got the whole, I think it's from the mass device with the, what do you want to call it? Not crop, because he's not riding anything, but, I think that was the best because he just looks so genuine. I'll pull him out here in just a second. But again, for cartoon accuracy, in my opinion, you just can't beat Super 7 on. So far, no one has, my opinion.
The game I love to play is try and pick out the accessories and where they come from. So the snake encircling the globe, I think, is a callback to a video game commercial. I think it was the Atari was it Revenge of Cobra? I don't know. The Attack of Cobra video game. There was a print ad in the comic books that had him with a sort of snake encircling the globe. The scepter, I think, is from Mass Device. The sniper rifle is from the opening sequence to the first season.
What about the binos?
The binos, gosh, good question. I do know that the Synthoid remote is in there, as is the high frequency gun, which he uses to control animals and Cobra's creatures.
Yep, high freak. Yep.
But you were saying about the
binos, I wouldn't have known this, or we wouldn't have come so quickly, I should say, if you know how YouTube has the Hasbro channel and they will throw it on. Sometimes when I'll go out and just exercise and run, I'll just throw it at my ear pods and just listen to the cartoon as I'm doing whatever. And sure enough, it was the ones with the fladal fuffies. At the very beginning of the battlefield, he's on the his tank. Or you could say it's when Sergeant Slaughter got introduced, I guess. Either one, as far as the binos, because he's watching it, from afar, the battlefield. But I would have to go with the fladal fuffies. I think that's what those are from, that episode.
Okay, so we're the Dominator, or was it the Further Adventures of GI Joe? Brilliant. Okay, well, I got to get me some Cobra branded binoculars. It's so sweet having the Cobra sigil on the top like that. So he is far and away your favorite from this wave. Should we even talk about the good guys then? Snake Eyes comes a bit light because he's got Timber in the box. So that's a hefty dose of plastic right there.
Let's see. I have him, and I'll pull him out real quick as well.
Comes with a lovely purple G.I. Joe jump jetpack or rocket pack, which is cartoon accurate for sure. To have it picked out in purple like that. An XMLR and that wicked cool like laser pistol that he has in Mass Device.
Let's see if I can do it without the light. Probably not. I've got to work on that stuff.
And unlike the classified series, he doesn't come with sort of irradiated hands, even though he does come with the Mass Device elements that he secures in that cave. They're kind of in that canister.
Pretty good.
And to date, the only Snake Eyes released in Ultimates. That's enormous amounts of restraint. I always thought like the main doctrine when it comes to releasing G.I. Joe waves is always ensure that there's a Snake Eyes just around the corner, if not on shelves. But like Super 7, they've released the one and haven't revisited the character yet.
True, they've done 3 Destros though. You count the original cartoon, then they did the one
Red
for
Jackal.
Red Jackal, and then they just did this crazy Desert Deco Python thing, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I like Destro, but that was the one thing, like you mentioned, that Super 7 seemed to be kicking and going with was like, hey, we're pretty much only doing a character of each, maybe 2, but we're just moving on with the one. And we also got 2 Flints now, the Desert Deco and the original. So
Duke is pretty standard. Comes with everything you'd expect him to have. Very accurate to his original action figure in that helmet, binos, submachine gun, pack.
Backpack from the toy from Hasbro, yeah. So that's pretty good.
Plus the XMLR and a few hands and heads. And a watch. And a walkie-talkie? I don't know. But I can see why Cobra Commander is your man. It's stunning. Like just having the subtle difference between the 2 helmets, the one having no stripe and being toy accurate, and then the other one having that top stripe to make him cartoon accurate. Lovely, lovely stuff.
On the Snake Eyes one, you can't tell, but on the canister for the Mass Devices booby trap, you can't see it from that one, but they do have a Cobra emblem on it, just like in the cartoon. So that one comes with a Cobra emblem on the end of it. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, man. Okay. So Cobra Commander was the clear favorite in Wave 1. What about Wave 2? Destro, right? I'm guessing.
Oh, no. The Baroness.
No.
Oh, gosh, yes. To do her and her deco of that old school blue and yellow, that's good. I have to admit, I'm not tracking on the gas mask where that one came from.
I think the gas mask appearance is from the comic book series where she is administering a plague toxin to a hapless Cobra trooper. Okay. Yeah. That's why she comes with a hypodermic needle, injecting this plague toxin. And she's got the mask on because Cobra Commander's with her at the time, but Cobra Commander's mask has apparently got filtration devices. So he's wearing just a standard mask, and she has to mask up, and it's a pretty sinister looking mask, like very
I'll say so.
World War One era goggle.
Let me open this plastic up, and we'll get her out and take a look at her.
Oh yeah, sure.
Fabulous. She was
Another
fabulous.
deep cut is she comes with the sort of the guns that she uses in her first appearance in issue 1 of the comic book. A gun that like was masquerading as a camera. So in the abduction of Dr. Adele Burkhart, Baroness sort of she assembles her weapon out of I suppose camera equipment that she used to smuggle onto the train as part of her press packet. Lovely, lovely stuff. Andrew showing me Baroness in box. Obviously, the Cobra boxes are all in sort of metallic blue. Joe's are in metallic green. And they have this kind of like cool, like distressing on the edges or like scuffing on the edges to reveal sort of the silver edging. Nice.
I kind of like it too. They give just a generic, like what they are, like it's strictly Baroness and
intelligence officer. Love it.
Yep.
In a kind of a dog tag style. All right. Okay. Yep. The clear favorites. One of the ladies. Destro's cool. Like I from the renders, it seems like it's a chrome, but I suppose it's just a very shiny paint that they're using.
Yes. Yeah. I'll get him just 1 second. But yeah, he's probably second favorite, but Baroness is top. Oh man, can't beat the Baroness. Oh.
The first lady of Cobra. Yeah, man. And Destro comes with, once again, some deep cuts and some that are like blink and you miss it moments. So was it in Pyramid of Darkness? He gets sort of lava splooged onto his face.
Yes, and takes the grinder and gets it off.
Not only did they give you the head sculpt that has this kind of gunk, this orange goo on it, but also like the grinder, the sort of circular buffing tool.
Orbital sander, yeah.
Amazing. I'm not sure where his gun is from. That sort of...
Yeah.
Maybe that was a piece that was in his action figures backpack. Because it seems, you had this sort of collapsible rifle that you couldn't actually remove from his original backpack. And one of the components looks kind of like that.
Of course, the wrist rockets is awesome. So.
Oh, yeah. Are both sides removable?
I believe they are.
He's got clip-on wrist rockets, and they're interchangeable with clip-on grenades. But you can either have wrist rockets on both sides, or you can have wrist rockets on one side and grenades on the other. I want to know if all of them are removable to leave him with like sort of bare gauntlets.
Yes, they are removable because in his packaging,
they're separate.
It's hard to tell, but he has nothing on his arms in there. So
wow. Great.
And then,
fully customizable modular play pattern. Just a note about the scaling.
I like the cartoon clips there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Little insets in the screens. So about the scaling, like I was kind of harboring the notion that you could kind of get away with putting them into a classified display, but that extra inch really just doesn't
I would
work.
say
maybe the bats.
Characters you could. The bats, okay. I would say Destro, because I figure Destro being a tall guy anyways.
Sure.
So I figured he could. Gun-Ho would probably be another one because he's a big, hefty fella, right? But yeah, if you're going with your standard, like, female characters, no, because they're going to stand a lot taller than your male classified. So yeah, some of those would not work, but I think some of the male characters would.
All right. Yeah, for particularly tall guys. Now, there is a concern with the second wave that there was a miscommunication at the factory. Brian Flynn of Super 7 has been on record saying this, that while the other Super 7's Ultimates flesh tones are all painted, in this wave, Lady Jane Flint, I think Baroness, the flesh tones were not painted. They were cast in flesh-colored plastic. So do you have an opinion on that?
Not really.
He's about to take a little look-see.
Yeah, let's say that. I never actually, to be honest, I didn't even heard that. When I looked at them, just for the novice collector like myself, a quick glance, look at it, like, oh wow, awesome looking. And I never really like, I guess, studied it. Like, oh man, did not know that. And it's nothing that stood out to me. It's just your novice collector, of, like, our average Joe that I would really notice.
Look, I'm of the opinion that flesh tone plastic is superior to painted flesh, but it's a case of like Lady J and Flint being kind of out of step with the rest of the series.
Sorry.
If it bothers you, it bothers you. If it doesn't, man, awesome. Get on with your life.
But no, I think she looks great. I hate to say it, I still don't think, even as good as much as I like Super 7, I don't think no one's nailed Lady J just yet, still, in my opinion. We'll see with the classified Arctic version of Lady J that comes with the Snowcat Haslab, but we'll see. But still yet, in my opinion, no one has still yet nailed that look for Lady J. This is close, this is good, but to me, something still just seems missing.
Well, the Haslab is the great white hope then for an accurate Lady J head sculpt. Look, she looked great in the sort of presentation that they gave when they launched the Haslab, because they did actually have the face sculpt fully cast in a flesh tone, fully painted. The rest of her was in grey, if I recall correctly. But the head was looking stunning. So hopefully it's a good sign. So she comes with her javelin launcher and her camera to make her toy accurate. Comes with an XMLR to make her cartoon accurate, but also plenty of javelin tips. Spears that she can actually throw, handheld ones. Wow, we've got like knives.
I wish they would have done if the one, exactly, the spear closest to her or javelin. I really wish they'd have done that in the top, if that's supposed to be like the diamond tip version that she cut, Flint and Gun Ho and Spirit and Snow Job out of. And
are you sure there isn't one that's just like that? I mean, there's so many. You have to be very, very. You have to go over the cartoon with a fine-toothed comb to determine which one is which appearance.
I just know that one because it's easy, because they really focus on obviously the tip of the javelin, because it's like, haven't you heard, diamonds are a lady's best friend, and of course before she cuts them out, she says, let's get him out of there, talking to the spear, and of course it's just gorgeous diamond. I mean, that thing is a rock on the end of a javelin. She's got to be like one of the most expensive GI Joe weapons ever with a diamond that size.
But yeah, it's entirely possible one of these could be that. I don't know, Andrew. You're going to have to rip her out of her package to find out. And what else can we say about Flint? I mean, pretty bog standard Flint. It's nice that he is, of course, cartoon accurate with the kind of green shirt and not the black shirt.
How about that?
You're a fan.
The news,
all right.
Yes. I get little goosebumps. The newspaper article. Do you remember where that is so cool? I'm looking at in the package as well, but I don't know. If it won't let you focus, but I can read it right here. Cobra Commander deliver the State of the Empire address tonight. Do you remember where that was from?
I think I do. Is it from Worlds Without End?
That's it. Oh man, because they're in I believe they're in that store buying those motorcycles, and I think that's when I don't know if he's reading the paper then, or if he's reading it on the street and the wind blows it by. But yeah, it's that was from that series. Oh man.
Yeah, man. I know what I'm doing after we're done recording this.
What's that? Go watch that.
Classic GI Joe cartoons. Yeah, no, dude. Worlds Without End is wonderful, and something that I used to play out before I'd even watched the cartoon series. I would love to do these kind of Elseworlds, Cobra on top, GI Joe on the run kind of alternate reality stories.
Yeah, I've got to figure out some way when I'm over on again to be able to change the back of StreamYard to dark mode, because that's where I'm getting the light reflection. So I do apologize for those that's watching this later on.
It's okay, Andrew. We get it. You got lots of toys. That's cool.
Got too many. I like to cut back.
I like to consider this as a sort of an audio podcast that has the bonus of video content if you happen to be watching on YouTube. But
Well,
the most
that's what
important
I'm
thing is
telling you guys.
most important thing is the discussion itself and your enjoyment of these awesome, awesome toys. Let's talk about
That's what I found you
Wave
guys.
3.
StreamYard.
Wave 3 is
Wave.
Doc, Cobra Trooper, Storm Shadow, and Scarlet. Once again,
Now,
we can talk through all of the accessories and their...
now, this is where I started getting a little disappointed in Super 7. I got it. Company, cutbacks, times change. But now we stopped getting brown box stuff. We stopped getting plastic bags. We stopped, the mailers and stuff. And it just kind of sours you on it because it's kind of like, imagine if someone says, here's you a vintage GI Joe 3 3/4, but the card's blank. They just give you a bubble figure and here you go, right? Maybe a tech card on the back, but I just think Super 7, I got it, the cutback, whatever. Just for me, it's just kind of like, as part of the nostalgic is getting, oh, wow, this came in the mail, open up. Oh, I got this box. And open it up. Oh, I got the bag. And then I got the slips, the sleeve. But
So, did they do away with the mailer box altogether, or is it just it doesn't have any kind of print on it?
They for this wave, unless somehow I got the shaft, it just came in a box, like a regular shipping box. Open it up, there's packing material, and ta-da!
Oh, the inner package naked. Oh no.
Yeah, no slipcase, no nothing.
Well, they got to cut corners where they can. They also cut a lot of their workforce as well.
And if you notice too, the shiny green is now like OD green. It's like typical paint on a military vehicle.
Right. So the initial 2 waves got that shiny green and blue. And then beyond that, they've gone to, okay, all right. Well, maybe it's to make that initial year's figures like special. I feel like there was a similar thing with the 25th anniversary. The first 2 years, or the first year of the 25th anniversary, all the card backs were like a foil appearance. They were silverish, and then they dropped that.
In this wave, it's so hard. Like I said, I have to go with the Cobra Trooper just because of his accuracy, but Doc is one of my all-time favorite GI Joe characters, just because his smoothness and his demeanor, and I like his little one-liners, like in the Weather Dominator. Blowtorch asked him, are you sure about this, Doc? And he goes, no, but don't worry about it. I'm wearing my bestest underwear. So I don't know.
Legend.
Doc is pretty cool. And then the other one with the I'm trying to think of the it's where they have to blow up the computer with Dr. Matinee's input into the super terrorist computer, and then the new troops, the Dreadnoughts trained, are useless, because they go and they fight, and then Doc pulls the detonator of the dude's plastic explosive. It was nice. He's like, boy, he's gonna feel stupid when he wakes up and realizes I pulled his detonator.
Dude, you have some amazing recall from that cartoon.
I watched that stuff so many times as a kid, and then, long story short, when we went to Germany the second time as a kid, Europe at the time was like a couple years behind what was stateside release. So I really got a chance to catch up on Joe's as a kid. Because when we got there in 86, they were like on 84/85. So I got a lot of chance to catch up on stuff. So, and the cartoons they would show, they were further back. And anyways, just got to watch a bunch of them over and over and over. And of course, as a kid, you could just binge watch GI Joe, go outside, play GI Joe, come back in and play GI Joe. It was like a world without end of GI Joe.
We were living our best lives. We didn't even know it.
Right. And of course,
it never gets. Oh yeah, Stormy.
And there's for Paul.
So you still say Cobra Troopers on top. Storm Shadow comes with some great stuff. Deep cuts. Once again.
Yeah, he's got of course, the Excalibur sword from the I forgot what the name of the series was, the episode was, but the one where they found the sword of Excalibur.
Wasn't it called Excalibur? I think so.
And
now,
then, of course,
I'm told that it glows in the dark.
That would be true, good sir. That would be true.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Yep, it's got that translucent. I like the arm right there from the cartoon from the comic books, not cartoon, but the comic book for Silent Missions, I think
Yes,
it was.
he has an. Well, no, actually, issue 21, I would say. Storm Shadow's debut appearance, and also the first appearance of his tattoo. So he comes with an alternate forearm. I suppose you can unplug his whole forearm and replace it with one that has the sort of the bindings stripped away to reveal his Arashikage tattoo.
That piece you're looking at, even though that has like the nipple that sticks out, actually there is a head to the nipple that would pop into the socket. I guess for me, what reminds me of Silent Missions, the very first one was right after Scarlet drops down, Snake Eyes, does the whole grab the sword, throws it over, and they blast off. Storm Shadow watches them leave, and then that's when they show that same tattoo right there on the very end.
Oh, look, we're both describing the same thing. Like you say Silent Missions, I say issue 21. It is the silent interlude.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
and those throwing stars, they are individual throwing stars. Like, that must be the most easily lost accessory of all Super 7 Ultimates.
What is I wonder what that blue rifle is in the back.
So, it's ironic to see Storm Shadow with a firearm, but in issue 24 of the comic book, called The Commander Escapes, Storm Shadow sort of ambushes GI Joe using a claw. He gets into a tree and assembles this sniper rifle.
Yes, I remember that. Yep,
that's it.
Dude, so Roadblock and somebody else, but that was the one about Cobra Commander shows him, hey, if anybody tampers with the mask, kaboom, and then he does a little.
There you go.
All through there. Yes, that's right. He lands and he gets in a tree, and then I remember that now. Okay, I forgot about that with that gun.
Yeah. It's nice that it's picked out in blue. The head sculpt. So he's got that masked head. If you recall, I think he's flying in a Rattler and he gets shot down in Excalibur. And then he puts the mask on and swims out. But then he sees this sort of lady of the lake holding the sword. And he swims towards it.
It's more, okay, I see what else more. It's more of a aquatic mask. Okay. Because
yes, it's quite stylized. Yeah, it looks like it should be used for like gassed out areas, but I guess they want to be able to see. You want to be able to see Storm Shadow's masked face in the cartoon. Yeah,
because that makes it look a lot darker or easy to say. Oh yeah, that's an aquatic mask. But on the package, it's not that way. The piece in front is very, very clear.
Yes. Yeah. Look, I guess in the render they wanted to dim it because. Yeah, once you want to give the audience the impression that there is in fact glass there sculpted in. It's not just open.
I only remember a little bit about that Excalibur series. I have to go back and watch that one. I don't remember much about it.
I got one over on you. And Scarlet,
you might get a lot over on me on GI Joe.
I'm a big sucker for Scarlet. GI Joe's first lady, deadly serious but so capable. And
she was sealed. I left her up the stairs, but I do still have her.
Did they do her justice, though, Andrew? Are you happy with Scarlet?
I am happy. I wish the hair could have been a tad bit brighter, or more orange, or reddish. In my opinion, it's just a tad bit dark. Maybe I'm being too picky, but as far as the stuff she comes with, oh no way! I think she's one of the most spot on for Scarlet versions.
Something that I am a big fan of is like the M16 is not like weapon accurate. Like the proportions are off. It looks a little bit janky. It looks a little bit comic booky.
I think they attribute it to more to and I'm not to be a gun nerd here, but when I was in the military, before you started getting M4s, we had the M16A2, which was kind of like the right after Vietnam, they came up with the A2 version, which just kind of replaced some more plastic stuff. And it kind of reminds me of like the Vietnam post Vietnam M16 rifle. So I think they kind of did it kind of like an attribute to old school since GI Joe, early 80s. It kind of gives it that M16 from back then vibe versus an M4 or something that more compact.
Yeah, no, I definitely do think we're looking at an M16 here, but the iron sight in the front is a bit too low
Right.
down, like it's too short. The stock at the back is not big enough, and the carry handle is quite pronounced. Like it's bigger than it would be on an
You
M16.
can you can call it a carry handle, but I can promise you this: anybody who's been in the military, if you get caught carrying it that way, your butt's in a sling.
Right.
Yeah,
So okay, that's
yeah.
the iron sight.
That stuff you see in the movies. If you, yeah, Bart, anybody else can tell you, you get caught carrying it with a carrying handle. Yeah, you're gonna be carrying your butt to the sand pit and getting smoked.
Right. Okay. So it is strictly a sight.
It really is. I mean, very few people ever truly do it that way, and most of the time you have a sling anyway. So
Sure. Okay. Wow. Well, I'm learning stuff every day. It's just so conspicuously looking like a carry handle.
well, it is. I mean, and when you see it in the movies, all the heroes and whatnot, they're walking around after the big fire base and the big, firefight, and everything's said and done. They're carrying around and they're, like it's a carrying handle, and it's like, no, bro, no.
Right. Okay. So, this is a tangent, but I'm curious to pick your brain. Is the reason for that it's not you can't ready the weapon very quickly if you're holding it in that position?
That, and I think a lot of it is because now they got 3-point harnesses, so obviously it goes around and it sits like right here, so it's just a quick right up.
Sure.
So even the slings have come a long way. I think a lot of times they do that is the fact of it's just the military likes to overkill safety, so they're like, no, you're not carrying that weapon in a safe manner. They always want the weapon either pointed downrange or down towards the ground, and if you're carrying it like that, it's most of the time pointed about kneecap level straight ahead.
Right. Bang.
So,
no bueno. All right.
exactly.
And I mean, speaking about her crossbow, she comes with two, which is very conspicuous. I mean, the one has a stock, the other doesn't. I suppose the stockless one is to be toy accurate, and the one with the stock is to be cartoon and comic book accurate.
I agree, because I can see the short one again in the mass device where where her and Destro are pinned, and she kicks it over to him. It didn't look as big, in my opinion, as the bottom one, but then when they get to the later on when she gets rescued in the mass device by Duke, it seems like the one he hands her is the full size that she shoots and destroys to his tank with with one arrow. So
it's incredibly consistent from Super 7 to give you all these options. I mean, they are, yeah. Once again, price point might be high, but you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, a lot of option parts.
You do get a lot of accessories for, I think the going price right now is what? Are these 55 or are they 65?
Yeah. 55 is, that rings a bell for me. Yeah, look, we can talk a bit about the future of the line because there haven't been any announcements recently, which lead me to believe maybe things are kind of on pause.
And remember the last wave they want to do, they didn't reach their funding and they canceled it.
Yes, it was the 3 females in the...
Yep, Lady J, Scarlet, and the Baroness from the Deke series.
Yeah, interesting choice that. I mean, perhaps in hindsight, it was a bit ambitious to think that, like, not only would females have that kind of pull, but females from a cartoon series that is less beloved, like that. That does sound pretty ambitious now.
I got it. They're trying to reuse the mold, I guess, like a lot of toy lines did. Then, of course, they gave her more like the cartoon deck or comic book deco as far as her purple and yellow versus the cartoon in this version. Like there. Lady J there again, I got it. The cartoon accuracy, cool, but to me, the best one they did is the one down below with the Baroness from the Dick series with her again. The bringing the Cobra Commander back and was it the Dragon Fire or whatever? Ah, man,
yeah, she used Dragon Fire energy to bring Cobra Commander back from his snake form.
I think they could have done a lot better for Scarlet. I'd have done the Ninja Force version just to see what would have bit on it, in my opinion, for Scarlet.
Yeah. Look, this was a repaint wave.
It was. And then Lady Jade, they could have done if they really wanted to do another Lady Jade, if you want to do a cartoon accurate, then give the Arctic version. beat Hasbro at their own game. Hey, we're going to throw out an Arctic version. We'll see how good yours can be, you know? But
Look, dude, they went out on a
other
limb
way,
here. They wanted to do Deke animation accurate, so I applaud them for that. Sort of Lady J in
sure,
this like more aquamarine, Scarlet in the purple and yellow, and
for a
Baroness
comic. Yep.
in a kind of a two-tone blue. But what really, like the attention to detail that really kind of warms my heart, even though this was a doomed wave, is the fact that they came with Deke accurate weapons.
Right.
Specifically for Baroness, she comes with the Annihilator submachine gun,
Right.
which became a sort of, I
Awesome.
suppose, in Operation Dragonfire, I think it was like a pretty standard Cobra weapon. You saw a lot of Cobras carrying it. I think maybe
Right.
even Targats, maybe Copperhead had one at a time. I don't know. I think the weapon saw more use than just with Annihilators.
I have to agree.
Yes, and
Yeah, it's a
so
shame
with
that way
the
didn't.
Scarlet got ambushes, sort of bullpup design rifle, and a credit card from an episode called Channel, I think it was, where her and Duke are in London. And what do you do in London? You go
Oh,
shopping, right? Ah,
that's right.
jeez.
Yeah, I think somebody
Deke.
bought a Cobra Bug there, didn't they?
Hammerhead. Close.
Or Hammerhead. That's right, a Hammerhead. Yes, Hammerhead.
That's where my Hammerhead comes from. Hamleys. The finest toy shop in the world, apparently. Perhaps not the
Huh.
finest prices, but whatever.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to sacrifice to find what you want.
Well, yes, you go to a dedicated toy store, you're going to hemorrhage a bit extra
There
cashish,
you go.
but
Real
that's a
quick,
story for another day. Yeah, tell me.
just real quick. This guy, oh man,
The
his
Cobra Trooper.
his face, and then you know, I'm telling you, the there you go, the weapon you could see from the original. I'm just telling you, these guys to me are spot on as far as just their look from the cartoon. I mean, these guys are amazing. I mean, they're too expensive to troop build. I think actually, you know what? I did get some extras. Super 7 had a sale, I think, end of last year, maybe beginning this year. They were clearing out back stock, obviously, whatnot. These guys, I think, were about $20 off a piece. So I think I paid like 35 or 30 a piece. So I picked up like two more, and I got two more of the Crimson Guards because Super 7 is too expensive to troop build. But hey, you put three of these together, oh man, you just can't touch cartoon accuracy, in my opinion, with without having some Super 7 ones.
Well, that's awesome that the troop builders were the ones that were marked down. Because that
And you
does give
notice,
you
like,
the opportunity to get a few more. Oh, yeah.
and one of the things I like about these guys, like, you could take the Hasbro trooper, and they'll have like a military grade kind of like uniform, and you can see like the wrinkles and the stuff in a uniform like you would normally. These guys look just like cartoon. I mean, completely slick sleeve. They are like wearing like the skinny jeans and the like a Under Armour body top, just like you see in the
It's like
cartoon.
sprayed on. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yeah, and
Smooth.
these things are just, dude. When I got this, I was just like, I think I just put it on the shelf. It was just kind of like, oh, just marveling, like, oh my gosh.
Well, it evokes that kind of Hydra supervillain, like goon look,
And
whereas
right,
Classified is evoking, real world military, I suppose, with all the creases and pockets and textures and things. These are, yeah, it's a very attractive aesthetic. I think we can all
and that
agree.
rifle at the very top of, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's a tribute in nod school to the Hasbro package line.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
he's
the
on the cover
original
and he's got it like
dude,
this on the cover. Yeah.
the Dragonov. Yeah,
Yeah.
Soviet sniper rifle or battle rifle. Very
And
nice.
they come with that, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like it's that when him, Dusty in the Trader series, I forgot what they
Oh
called it.
yeah, what was his name?
Him and Lieutenant
Claymore.
him and Lieutenant Claymore did the whole Piranha Battle of the Water. It comes with the whip that's from that episode.
Was that where it's
At least
from?
to me.
Because
Or, well, no, I take that back. That was from the Synthoids, I think, and Shipwreck, because remember when they were running away, they could do the whip and it would lasso around the individuals.
Yeah.
I think that's where that one's from. I got a little carried away there with Lieutenant Claymore in that episode with Dusty, but I think that's the one where they had it where they would do that energy beam around the Joes if they would try to escape, and it would then fall down.
It looks like they've used two tones for the electro whip. It's sort of a blue primarily, but there is white mixed in. I'm wondering, is the white like a paint effect?
The white's on the handle. For the one I got here in the package, it looks like it's the same color, that translucent blue all the way through.
All right, so the render just kind of, the way the render interpreted the electro crackle is to add some white in it. But it's a translucent plastic on the toy.
Yes.
Gotcha. And we can't not mention the fact that you get two flesh tones, a pink and a brown. Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing which I like. You can do that with. That's like, I don't care for like Hasbro. Like Hasbro will do, the officer in this ethnicity and the trooper in this ethnicity. I like how they do it here. So you can have a trooper and officer switch out your skin tone. So that way, if I want my Lieutenant Claymore, I get my Lieutenant Claymore.
And instead of like making the neck like balaclavaed, like you'd expect in a cheaper presentation, you'd have just the head being removable. No, because the neck is flesh tone as well, the whole neck comes out of the top of the torso.
I agree.
They did it.
Oh, such good stuff. Such good stuff. I'll tell you, he's the most. All of them are good, but that one for cartoon accuracy, it's like, wow.
Yeah, terrific. Next wave. What would this be? Wave 4. Gosh, dude,
I love Stalker up there.
Oh yeah, Stalker's great.
The only one I brought down that I wanted to really go over was, well, we can cover other ones, but definitely is the Baroness. She's another hand down favorite. And the main reason she's my favorite in this one, not just her black decor, but when she did, of course, the Weather Dominator and has the face for the pilot. Oh my gosh. So good. Open the bag.
That helmet is good. Yes, that very stylized sort of Cobra bucket helmet. It's cool, man. It's very reminiscent of like anime of the 1970s, I'd say. Like the Gatchamans and the Mobile Suit Gundams. Like, yeah, it's very Principality of Zeon or any sort of baddie of the week from Gatchaman, I'd say. She comes with a whole bunch of interesting stuff. The Eau de Cobra, which is the sort of fragrance that drove
that's
men
the first
crazy.
one I noticed. Yep.
She comes with the conch that will... Is that the thing that... Yeah, from Song of the Siren. It controls, once again, controls all the sort of the men. She comes with the Alaskan seal from the Great Alaskan Rush, or whatever it's called.
The basket.
The basket that contains a cobra that then like spews knockout gas. Is that right?
For the mass device when Zartan and her rescued, and the Dreadnoks rescued Commander from Blackwater Prison.
I think that would have been the Weather Dominator then.
Yes. Weather.
Revenge of Cobra. No, dude, we're both keeping each other honest here because folks in the comment section will be like, "Hey, you guys slipped up there."
It's like anything. When you get talking about GI Joe, you get so excited, and it's like, wait, they just start the 5-part series sometimes, especially for me, for the Mass Device and Weather Dominator, they kind of run together.
I tell you what it is, Andrew. I listen to way too many GI Joe podcasts, and anytime a host gets it wrong, I'm like, I wish I could help you right now, pal. And then I'm so rewarded when a co-host then jumps in and sort of corrects them. So like, it's not a case of like actually and pushing up the glasses on the nose. It's really a case of like saving oneself from embarrassment. So I'm always quick to correct, and I'm always very grateful when someone's quick to correct me. Oh yeah.
Is that the grenade that she did from the episode where she pulls the pin with her teeth and throws it, or is it from something else?
You're probably right. It's a very stylized grenade, like red and black. Looks like it's kind of got that Cobra aesthetic to it.
It looks like a grenade, but I mean,
it is definitely a grenade. No, I would say cartoon series, but I'm blanking on exactly where she pulls a grenade. Maybe that Blackwater prison escape.
I just don't think that one's that detailed, but it's pretty cool to see her regardless when she pulls it with her teeth and then just lobs a grenade. It's so awesome.
Well, now it's time for the comment section to to help us out. After all that talk, now have you tested out Zartan's color change ability?
I did not know he did color change ability for Super 7.
He goes blue,
Did not
dude.
know that.
The
What?
Zartan in Wave 4, dude. This is amazing. Guess what
Oh,
Andrew's
man.
doing as
I
soon
did
as
not
we
know
jump off
that.
the call.
He is, yes, he is upstairs still sealed up. And I'm like, oh, well, now he's going to have to get opened up and see. I had no idea he did that.
Well, it is my great pleasure to break the news about the amazing things that your toy can do. Now, I didn't do the research because I'd hoped that maybe you'd tested it out.
Sorry.
I think that it is photochromic, so it will change color in the sun, just like the original toy. So
Well,
you don't have to put them in your freezer.
well, no, but I go back to a funny story when I was rebuilding my 3 and 3/4 collection, and I had got into the Shadow Ninjas. That was more in your line, and then I didn't know. Well, I knew they changed colors, but I remember talking to you about it, and I thought like, oh look, there's this variation and there's this variation and that, and then you're like, dude, Andrew, you do know they changed colors, right? And I'm like, I just spent ungodly amount of money because I thought I was buying different variations.
Because okay, so you sourced some on eBay that were from like colder states, and they were all blue and pink and whatnot, and then you were sourcing ones from like warmer states where they were all white.
Yes, it was terrible. I had
that is
like
a great story, dude.
like a darker. Snake Eyes had like a dark gray, and it was like a medium gray, and I was like, "Oh, look at these! These must be color variations. Oh, I'm gonna get them both." And you're like, "They just changed color, man."
Were you able to sell off your extras, or do you still? You got to keep
still
them all.
Just kept them. I just for that pegboard I got up there. I just put them on there. Like, okay, all right.
Extras. Well, look, I hope you didn't hemorrhage too much money on it because they aren't really that sought after, or are they? Were they pricey?
And when I bought them, well, one, they was kind of hard to find sealed on card, and number two, it was like anything during the whole COVID pandemic stuff, man. You know, people were just buying stuff left and right, and it was,
okay, brutal. Well, look, I mean, they were late in the run, so maybe they were produced in lower numbers. Fewer people got them. Also, you need to get them carded because loose samples all have broken thumbs. That plastic.
That was the biggest thing you talked about.
Trash.
And I think the whole, because you were telling me, hey, if you open them up, don't put the weapons in the hands. So I remember you telling me about that. And then the whole thing was I guess the whole gimmick is with the whole freezer thing. So I know, I talked to Dustin Cordish. This is, I think last year sometime, and he was, of course, living where he does with Arctic weather. I asked him about plastic outside, and he says very limited. He says even with the stuff that he has, and he can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I want to say that when we were talking, he's like, very limited to take plastic outside when it's that type of frigid cold. And that gimmick with those Shadow Ninjas was, I think it said, put them in the refrigerator or the freezer, something like that.
Just like a sort of color change Hot Wheels car, you dip them in ice water or you dip them in hot water. Using the freezer is less effective. It's got to sit in there for half an hour to bring about the same amount of change that you would get if you just put them in a glass of ice water.
Okay.
So, yeah. Look, I had fun with them back in the day, but they did not last long with their weapons in hands.
So, I can see why.
Each of them have blue tack on the inside of their palms now. That blue tack has been on there for 30 years. All right, so Zartan, color change. Andrew's going to have some fun this afternoon. Woohoo!
I am. Once this video, what you posted up and I will drop down the comments and be like, oh my goodness gracious. And Pat, if you follow us on the Facebook page, I will post, or even Discord, I will put some pictures up.
Excellent. GI Joburg Facebook. If anyone wants to join the group there, the answer to the very easy question is Hauser. The question is, what is Duke's surname? You wouldn't believe how few people actually input that. And I'm kind of, I'm forced to decline their membership because, we want to keep our group These people that have some GI Joe knowledge, not bots, not spam artists, not like
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
keep the dreck out. So it's the very easy question. Please answer it correctly. Otherwise, my hands are tied. But
Thank goodness we've been pretty blessed about not having the spam stuff on that page.
well, long man
At least
last,
on my
touch
end.
wood.
At least what I can see on my end, it doesn't look like spam.
Now, I think Gung Ho takes the prize for my favorite accessory inclusion, and that is a mini Wolverine toy. Like this must be the size of this must be smaller than a micro machine. It's painted, but it's
And that was
small
from
enough for him to hold in his hands.
that was from the mass device, correct? When Stalker's doing the filming and he's in the back, and he's
Yeah.
like, "It's better than electric train set."
Playing with GI Joe toys, yeah, dude, it's a beautiful little inclusion. I mean, it's so scene specific, but yeah, just having a micro-sized GI Joe vehicle is always going to get top marks from me.
What's the episode then with the sweatband? That one's not ringing a bell.
Yeah, don't know it myself. I'm sure there was an episode where he was, I don't know,
more comic. I don't know.
hatless. Look, the comic issue that makes the most sense to me, him having a band around his head, would be when Cobra Island was created and the Joes are invading it. But he is on a cover of that issue way more bandaged than that. He's looking like he's recovering from a massive head wound.
I have to go back and look at the comics too. What about the time that the pit got hit and they were down there in the bottom?
He's wrestling with Zartan. I think his cover stays on.
Okay.
Until
so he's hammering that 2x4 or 4x4 post up into the
that one. Oh, when they're rebuilding the pit. Okay. Gosh, you know, you might be right.
Hopefully our audience can say, "Oh, that's from this," because I am dying to know.
And is that crystal quite crystalline? Like it's completely translucent, right? It's a nice clear piece. That sort of shard that he comes with. That would be from the Captives of Cobra. It's an explosive crystal.
Yes. I thought those were pink though in that cartoon.
Then maybe I'm mistaken. But I love playing this game. Look, the glove comes with these green gloved hands. They're like kitchen gloves. They're marigolds, but they're in Odie green. And those he uses to handle these crystals. Maybe I'm making this up. Maybe my cartoon knowledge isn't as strong as I profess. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. But I thought that was from Cobra's Captives of Cobra, Part 1.
I still think one of my favorite lines from him is just, and it was, I still think it was the Weather Dominator. And I can't remember if we were at Blackwater Prison or just dropping him off. But I think it's like, how would you let me to bitch brace your face in? I just love that.
Classic. Also, they have adopted a different kind of tattoo. It's not the classic Marine Corps. I haven't actually given it a close eye. Is it the same as the Hasbro version? Sort of an eagle with its wings outstretched.
Fair enough. I guess didn't Hasbro do that for their classified as well?
Yeah, and it's had kind of negative reception. I mean, certainly from us, we're like,
is it just copyright? You can't use the Marine Corps logo or something? Or?
I've been led to believe yes. Marine Corps aren't just farming out their logo to any toy company that wants to put it on an action figure. I think they're a bit more guarded about their IP than they were in the 80s. But like GI Joe was a far more patriotic thing in the 80s. Now it's something else.
Well, he's still
I don't blame the Corps.
Of all the branches, it's still the whole like manly men kind of, branch of service. So you would figure looking at, Gun Ho, there's nothing soft about him. So, he's the Marine basically.
Well, maybe it's time to reopen that conversation, but like, who knows? Hasbro talking to the Marine Corps, that's some layers. above our heads right
Yeah,
now.
I'm afraid they're going to get somebody tougher from Hasbro to go talk to the Marine Corps. In my opinion, I don't think the crew there at Hasbro could probably sales pitch. Yeah,
Yeah,
what use the logo? That's just my opinion, but I don't
the
think they
pink
could.
the Pink Rinse Brigade. Yep. No,
But
I don't know if that'll go over well. Anyway, moving over to Stalker. Anything you want to say about this guy? He comes with a repeat of Snake Eyes' jetpack, which is great because why? Because Stalker is so absolutely linked to the jump. From the
of course,
opening of the Mass Device cartoon, when he tosses that explosive up and shoots it out of the sky, to his first appearance in the GI Joe comic book, where he's the primary jump operator. Sorry, take a seat, Grand Slam. This is Stalker's piece of equipment. I love
no,
Stalker. He's
I think
number
he's a
one
good
character for
character.
me.
I like him. Good thing like this one, he hopefully won't crumble like the original version. If you have one, I've got one glued together that does not move. Now,
Touch
I have to
wood,
admit,
my Stalker's okay. Let's
is
make
that the
myself big.
OG original?
This is the swivel arm, version 1.5.
Mine is glued together at certain spots because he came apart. Now, do I like the one that came with the what was the Transformer? Was it the was it Cup and the Sergeant Slaughter? There was
It was the Ore
I
Striker.
forgot.
It
Anyways,
was
the R
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. That's right. Thank you. But I've got him, and he will do as far as my Stalker because the other one, man, I remember playing with him, and he just went. I was like, oh.
Look, I believe that no two Stalkers are the same. Like, if you got an early release original Stalker, yeah, he's brittle as all hell. I know for a fact this guy is later release because I got him in Dublin, in Ireland. So chances are good he was a later. He might even been a Palitoy release. So he's probably from 1984 or 5.
You know, I've never noticed a difference overall with GI Joe stuff, except when I was a young teenager, and about the time that probably '89, I think it was when um, Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders came out, and I remember holding Spirit and Lowlight, and I'm thinking they just felt different. They did not feel like the plastic from the original toy line.
So there's a reason for that. Did you know that the Slaughters Marauders sub-team were all produced in Brazil? Estrella had the molds. So
okay.
Slaughters Marauders were produced in Brazil and then sent back to the States and wherever else the Marauders were sold. So that's why they have particularly weak thumbs.
Thank you very much. That's why when I had Spirit, of course, he was my first version of the Spirit. I never had the original, so of course, getting that one, super excited. And then not even a couple months of that weapon coming in and out, and it was like, and I was like, no. So years later, fast forward, I find his arms with articulated with his thumbs, and I switched mine out, and I did not put a weapon in his hands at all. But that was my first experience. Even as a young lad going, something doesn't feel right here, and how I know 20-something years later.
You were onto something, my friend.
Or 30, 40.
Who's counting? Right. The final wave. We've got CoverGirl, Crimson Guard, Roadblock, Major Blood. You got all these guys, I presume.
I did, and they're in the box up top, and I knew it because I haven't put them on the shelf yet. When you were pulling them up, I'm like, why didn't I see those on my shelf? I put all the other stuff, and I'm like, I left them in the shipping box up there. My favorite, the Crimson Guard, just his, again, deco, his look is just amazing. But that entire wave right there, to me, is still spot on.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with heavy hitters like Roadblock and Major Blood.
Oh, of course not. Major Blood.
The bullet belt on his Marduce, I presume, is a separate piece that can kind of be fed through.
I am so curious. I really want to go run upstairs and grab that box. I'm telling you, it's like,
Well, it looks
oh,
that way on the render in any case, and it's a very toy accurate Mardeuce. It's obviously not accurate to the real world 50 cal, which, yeah, I mean, anytime I've seen that even around another human being, I'm like, there's no ways anyone can hold that handheld. That's just too much steel. But Roadblock, he's a special kind of guy. Yeah, it's very accurate to the toy. The tripod, the backpack, the gun, the helmet.
Oh yeah,
But then in addition to
everything
that, you've
like
got a pistol and a dagger. Very, very small dagger. Like this dagger is like a letter opener.
you know where that's from? Because I do not.
Oh, it's just from his sheath. So, the original had obviously a sculpted pistol on his left thigh and a knife
Okay.
in his right thigh. Now you've got those pieces freely usable. And
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a particular reference or if it's just, trying to be articulate on the figure. I still like how they did him, justice to his with the with the weather
the XMLR.
episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Right.
With his outfit and stuff.
Yep. It's quite a loud pair of pants if you
It could be a
see
little
it
bit
out of
darker.
context, but it's absolutely cartoon accurate. Lovely, lovely stuff. Oh yeah, terrific. I'd be curious to see his head sculpt in the flesh because it looks like there's some depth to the shading of it. I don't know. Do they do shading on Ultimates?
Like they do with anything. Like I have this red jackal. There might
Is it all
be.
quite? Is it quite the coloring quite flat?
I mean, it's
Or do they do?
it's not chrome like the. It's not like the shiny chrome of the Hasbro 3 3/4, but I mean it's a pretty good silver paint to me.
Right. It's lovely either way. So that was Red Jackal with the silver paint that looks chrome enough, but not a kind of a mirror shine chrome. It's just a very shiny paint. Ah, dude, so much win. But like as you say, Crimson Guard takes the cake. Nice that you get two unmasked heads. The one being, I'm gonna say, he's from the germ. Maybe?
Yes,
The glasses.
I think that the glasses are, and of course the vials remind me of the one for the for episode where the crops go crazy.
Oh, the greenhouse effect. Yes.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but those beakers remind me of that.
Sure. Damn. Well, I think we've given the Super 7 Ultimates line quite a plug. So,
I got go ahead.
Would you recommend this line? Just, I mean, seems like an obvious question to ask, but are there any? Are there, like, apart from the price and it being prohibitive against army building, is there anything that gives you pause for thought? Or you're like, all maybe?
We talked about that earlier. I've heard the rumor with any Super 7 product, and I don't know if it's true or not. They say when you take them out of the package, you should boil them in water to help with the joints. And I don't know if that's true or not. However, if it is, I've never done that. I don't really know your experience with it. I don't know how long you boil it, So I would be careful about that. If you take a Super 7 out and you're not going to investigate that to see if that's true or not, with anything, I would just be extremely careful when you're testing the fragility of these figures.
Right. Yeah, well, look, modern toys, hell, even old toys, you just gotta know their tolerances. Nothing sucks worse than breaking your figures.
So for this one, you can tell there's no slip case, just plastic bag. And then on the back.
Andrew's showing us the Python Patrol Destro, and it's a different kind of packaging. It's very much more like art heavy. It's got Tiger Force Flint, Stroy up.
Well, yep. But actually, no, it looks like a Duke. It looks like Duke to me.
Okay. All right.
And then what's cool here, you could, if you could really focus on it, you can see this dude.
Zartan blending into the background. Very Sunbow accurate looking Zartan. I like that.
And of course, my favorite, right there. You can see this guy out there.
Yeah, Cobra Trooper. Have they put like a metallic glint on him?
I don't think so. I think everything to me looks all flat.
So
it might be just the light reflect.
is this pack freely available from Super 7, or did you have to get it from another channel?
No, I got this one from Super 7. In fact, that last wave that we were looking at for like CoverGirl, Major Blood, and Roadblock, and the Crimson Guard, I actually had to wait on that one. I missed out on it, and then Super 7, I always say keep checking Super 7's website. Eventually, next thing you know, like anything else, they're like, hey, we've got, back stock, or we found whatever. And sometimes you can catch it on sale. Like I caught those on sale. If you bought all four.
Well, as with most things, it really does pay to buy in bulk and buy it from the source. They'll give you some extras. Right on, man. Okay. Everybody rush out and get your Super 7 Ultimates. So says GI Joburg. Though I'm curious to get some playtesting as well. Andrew, I mean, you have been showing us some lovely sealed toys, but I was kind of hoping you'd actually taken some of them out. Like, have you tinkered with them? Or is it all
Not
just...
at all. You know me, just until I get my playroom set up, they just stay in their packages. Eventually, even if they do, they would probably be like, like see the accuracy of the bend or this. And then, of course, I'm going to put them in a pose, and that's it. They're just going to be whatnot. Now, similar with here, you see they got Destro hanging upside down. And of course, then from here, from what was the one, the Vulcan machine? That's what it kind of reminds me of when they're in the woods and there's those traps as they're trying to get to the temple to get Dr. Shakur. We're trying to rescue him.
Ooh. It's not Countdown for Zartan, it's...
And the same Zartan again, yeah. And then, of course, Storm Shadow.
Jungle Trap. Jungle Trap is the episode. But yeah, it's Tiger... You're showing us Tiger Force Flint.
Yep.
These are fairly new releases. I mean, these haven't been around for a long time.
Well, the thing is, he's a little too white pasty from my take. That could be just a plastic or whatnot. He's a little bit.
But this is a painted flesh tone as opposed to his original release.
Okay.
So, like, this is kind of what people wanted. Like,
All right.
there was that knee-jerk reaction against the flesh tone of the original release. Well, now they've corrected that. So.
Ah, okay. Nice.
But you're saying he looks too pale. Oh, they just can't win. He's under a triple canopy. He hasn't seen the sun in days.
That's me being a little too picky. Well, maybe he can have his Arctic bivouac to help him out with the Haslab. Right? I thought, come on, man, that's
touch of sarcasm there.
Yes, that is, because I thought you could surely do something better than a jungle canopy setup than say it's for the Arctic,
Well, look, they just wanted to get our Haslab money to finance another release. We're going to get the original coloring.
Well, that's what they hinted at. Basically, if it didn't make it through the Haslab, that they weren't going to do a bivouac at all. And I don't know if that's just to encourage you to buy it, but they always say we're not going to do this, and then next thing you know, get it.
I'm curious to see what they have in the pipeline for an Arctic Hiss. So they're going to re-release, presumably, the Haslab Hiss in a kind of a more watered-down version. So we've got the same base vehicle, maybe no electronics.
No electronics.
But with a sort of a missile rack as opposed to the guns. We'll see.
So hopefully not the crazy price. Oh.
It'll be close.
I mean,
$150, $200 maybe.
It's good. Don't get me wrong. I got one of the Haslabs. There's just a point where it's like, I think like for me, I'm about to bail from the classified line because it's like, where do you put it all? I mean, it's unbelievably so freaking massive when you start collecting these figures, and obviously, these vehicles. It's just, especially the Rattler. Oh man, it's huge.
But the wings fold up. Come on.
Yay!
That just means you need a shelf that's deep and tall.
Yeah, I need to go start a GoFundMe for a bigger house.
We all do. Now, Andrew, before we started, you wanted to show us some new shit. Something that you're working on?
Yeah, for those that follow the Facebook page, long story short, went to Joe Fest this year for my first time. Awesome stuff. Got to meet Gaz, Hans Chow, Chris from Chasing Toys 80, and Scuba Pete. I mean, there was just unbelievable neat people to meet and enjoy. And I'm telling you, there is so much GI Joe stuff there, and other vendors, not just 3 3/4, like not just Skeletron. And I'm drawing a blank on the guys that's the other big push right now for
Delta 17?
Thank you, those guys. I mean, they got those booths there, but there's just tons of, if you want vintage, if you want classified, all in between. Even they had a big stuff for Action Force. It was amazing. They had some tables for other 6-inch scale figures. They had some Thundercats, Voltron, comic books, you name it. If you've never been to Joe Fest, go to it. It is super worth it. If you can't get at that hotel, don't worry about it. I didn't. I stayed about 8-10 miles away, and the drive and commute was super easy, and parking was big old parking garage next to it. And I'm telling you, go to Joe Fest. This thing, I did the early bird, or pay for you get to go in early. Hardly anybody does it. I'm telling you, the line for non-early bird to get in was super short. Everybody had early tickets in. So you get in an hour before the general public gets in. Well, what happens is, I didn't know this, that vendors set up, and then they'll say, hey, I got this for sale. You want to do a swap? Because they might say, hey, I'll give you this or whatever. This thing, I was one of the first to get in, not even 5 minutes. They had a complete one of these, all good to go. It was about $900. However, I'm 5 minutes in, and there's already a sold tag on it. And I was like, no way. Then someone explained to me, hey, vendors do this. They'll set up, and somebody's like, hey, I want this. Well, I'll sell you this, and then it's done. So I'm thinking, why not just take it down then, daggone it? Because I'm looking at it like, oh, I want this. The next day I go back, another guy has this with a few accessories, not many. It's about 100.
Hang on. What is this? Just for the listeners, what is he holding in his hands right now?
This is the Night Force Night Ray. All right.
Which
now, right now, it's pretty much. Go ahead.
The Night Ray is the Moray.
Correct. And the only thing is, though, the pieces are not interchangeable as far as color-wise. I mean, you could use the 85. I think it's 85 resets hydrofoil parts on here if you wanted to, but it's not going to be accurate. So I bought it, and I'm thinking, oh, I'll find these pieces. Oh, no big deal. I thought I had a piece one together before, and it was the hovercraft version of it. I'm trying to think of what that one is.
I think that's the
Night Striker.
Night Striker?
I know it's not the Boomer, because that's the Sky Striker.
Sky Striker.
And the Scrambler is the troop carrier. But anyways, that one wasn't too difficult to find parts for the hovercraft version. This thing here, though, the Night Ray, extremely difficult. But I thought for $150, came with a few accessories, no big deal, right? Oh boy. But as luck has been going out, I have been getting some good pieces.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
You got the missile box, you've got the turrets.
Even the pieces of glass. The glasses are pretty much the little leather stripping. They're pretty much standard, and so is the gun in the front. But all the other orange stuff is there. And then just recently, I got the torpedoes, missiles. Now these guns here, I'm going to show you these guns, the rear 50 cal ones. These are actually, these so far are my only 3D printed parts I've got for this thing, because the average price of one of these guns is like $50. And I'm like, nah, I spent like 50 or 60 for 4 of these in their repo. Now, maybe down the road I'll switch out, but for now they're here. Let's see if the light reflects. See, there's really not that much a difference. Whoever did these, I think, did really good for 3D printed.
Yep,
So
it's a good match. Good color match.
I got all this up. The most recent thing that I just picked up off of eBay was the depth charges that go to here, and the for the rocket launcher, there is the gray piece that goes on the.
Oh wow! Yes,
That goes right here. That was the hardest to find. Thank goodness somebody had those depth charges in that piece, and a couple other things I already have it. I've been searching for months. I was like, that's it. I don't care if I have the extra pieces. I'm just going to go for this piece plus the depth charges. And of course, it came with some other stuff I already had. No big deal. I can always try to resell it and recoup some money on that for decent prices. I ain't trying to rip nobody off because I know what it feels like to have to buy this mess to get it. The only thing I'm lacking, which is the hardest to find, and especially complete, is not 50 cal, whatever those humongous rail guns are on the side.
Oh yeah.
Those things are super hard. I can't find anybody who's 3D prints them because I'll definitely take a pair of 3D printed until I can find the originals. I have found one gun on eBay right now, but the tabs where you would clip them in right here, they were broke on the gun. I'm not so much worried about the one right here. Even with the regular hydrofoil, those things are very hard to find.
Yeah. Those little support arms. Now, Andrew, I've got to ask, even though I know it's crass, but what do you think your spend has been in your night raid journey?
I'm probably. Oh, I forgot. While we're doing that, forgot.
Perhaps that's for the best.
No. I meant I forgot. I had these. I did get them in. I was thinking these ain't in the mail yet, but they are in. What's cool is, just for giggles, that I'll get to see. This one supposedly is the original, so I'll get to check them out compared to the 3D printing one to see here. One of the other things that's what's been difficult, and I'll show you real quick on this, as we talked about it, is if you'll look, you can see right this here, one of those things is broken off, and if anybody is an expert on how to get those things out, I know me and you, Steve, talked about a couple ideas, but if anybody's a pro and has said, hey, I've got those out without damaging the casing, please let me know.
Yes. So just to elaborate on that, the back gun emplacements. So there are 4 on a night ray or a moray, 4 machine gun points, and the machine guns have a post that goes into these points, into these holes. So on one of Andrew's holes, it's already got a post in there, snapped off inside. Now, the solution that I suggested to you was take a pin or a toothpick, get a teensy amount of super glue, and try and just get it attached. Let the super glue harden, and then yank that broken piece out. But you do, of course, run the risk of super glue kind of squeezing out and messing up the inside. If there is a better solution out there, please let the man know in the comments section. I mean, I would not use a drill. Even the smallest of drills would potentially...
Especially as age is just plastic, and if anybody knows, there's no way you can come from the bottom side. So, stuff on that part.
You can't push it through.
Say, though, and this thing, if anybody is familiar, I have not messed with my regular hydrofoil in forever, but you see I got stretch marks on those, and I am so afraid to, if I could just get this thing in without it breaking, that's it. It's not going to ever be removed. And what's pretty cool about these, I really enjoy piecing these together, not the hard ones because they can be stressful as far as trying to find the parts and expensive for like Night Force and stuff. But in general, I love buying incomplete vehicles, and then like a Snow Wolf or Ice Wolf, Snow Wolf,
Cobra Wolf,
Cobra Wolf. Thank you. Ones like that, where you can just start, looking for pieces and stuff like that. Because then next thing you know, there's this shell that was just sitting on eBay, and now is a complete military weapon ready to roll out and play with the new battle. Exactly. I love piecing stuff together.
It's one of the most satisfying feelings to being an adult collector, is taking something that was almost worthless and making it, get good as new again. Now, anyone who's once again in the dark, Andrew is stressing about the missile box assembly for the Moray, which I've built out of the box, a mint and seal box GI Joe Moray back in the day. Getting that thing in, that sort of back section to the missile box, I don't know how you're supposed to do it without chipping something or stressing something.
Right.
Like to massage both of those tabs underneath the top of the hull. I mean, the one that I did, I sort of managed to chip a piece of plastic out of the hull when I pushed it bit in. And then the other version of the Moray that I have at home, someone before me did that. So I don't know how you're supposed to do it. Heating and bending, maybe it would have been fine on plastic that was new, but 30, 40-year-old plastic to heat and bend into position is a very daunting prospect. But
there was one that you did years ago on a podcast. You talked about using possibly a type of lubrication, and either if it's not, like I know one time you said KY, and the other one you used like squeaky. Well, yes, hey, it's there. Go back. And the other one was you talked about like if you got to be careful like WD-40 and stuff like that, because it can do the plastic. But you talked about you've had success if you did it real quick and then wiped it off as soon as you got what you needed.
Look, lubrication like WD-40, I enjoy using for axles, for getting the squeal gone. I mean, just like you would do with a bike or a wheel. It's useful there. It's got all sort of.
I'm sorry. Let's say these here. We got one that's intact. Of course, this goes to the Night Force version of the whale. I'm drawing a blank of what the Night Force version of the whale is. However, I got one of these intact, and then this guy was selling them on eBay for like $30 for repo parts, and they feel pretty solid for parts. So I got a feeling if it's a one time you snap it in and put the missile launcher on it, and so it's probably see heavy play. I think they're going to be okay. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and of course, my collection is to keep. For the most part, I don't foresee selling my Joe stuff. If I did, I hope I can remember, so that way I could tell somebody, hey, everything's not probably legit. Because I know back in the day, HC78, his quest was to give it to you as is 1982 up original stuff, and that's fine if you can swing it. Some of us, one of these I saw complete on just this piece on eBay original, and if it is original, just it was $100. And I'm like, yeah. And to go back to the question you asked earlier, so far I think I'm about somewhere between $500 and $600. So I am not at the $900 and something for the one complete one. Now, less stress. But if you get those rail guns, you can find them. You're probably going to be paying easily for original. I imagine $150 to $200 for one, unbroken.
Yikes!
My guess.
And I did check. It is the Night Striker. Is the Night Force whale. Right. So, daunting prospects, but very satisfying. When you get that last piece in, oh my goodness. To complete a Night Force vehicle, which was, you've taken it from bare bones shell to fully complete, fully assembled, with the help of some 3D printed parts, but hey. And also, Andrew, I wouldn't lose any sleep about misleading people further down the line, because even if you kept meticulous records, who's to say an unscrupulous seller wouldn't conveniently lose those records? Like, people have to take due diligence with their own purchases. I think we're getting into a stage where things have gone through multiple hands, and if you're not able to scrutinize, maybe you shouldn't be in this collecting game. These are topics for another time, perhaps. But I think we've given the listeners something to think about. I'm glad GI Joburg didn't have to take a bye this week. We look forward to Rob and Paul's return next week. But
absolutely,
once again, Andrew, thank you for joining me. What a treat.
Thank you for having me.
The wheels of GI Joburg keep turning, and we've got some very capable co-hosts out there in the world with
Awesome.
very, very complete Ultimates collections.
Sorry, I didn't bring the other ones down. I just totally forgot. Man,
Dude.
Super 7 put them in the box. I just threw them in the loft. I would have filmed in the loft, but my loft, it's like you collect so much, and the next thing you know, it's like, I got to put this stuff up. It's all in boxes sitting somewhere. You're like, oh, man.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time, and yeah, it looks like you got plenty of toys behind you, anyways. So it's not like you.
Yes, you can see. Let's see, a bunch of vintage mask. Then they start getting into some of the other Super 7 stuff, like this. That's a Voltron, glow in the dark by Super 7, which is pretty cool.
Lovely.
Yeah, let's see if I can. You can see some of my Masters, and of course, Masters Origins, and
oh, dude,
it gets down into some of the Masterverse, basically their 6-inch scale line. And one, if it's go over this, but you can see the mask. I got a bunch of their boxes up there. Of course, Ghostbusters and Robotech, vintage. Of course, then they get the Thundercats. Got some GoBots down there, not many. Couple turtle stuff, and then coffee cup out the way right here. A lot of the stuff you'll see is some gargoyles up that way, some just boxes of Masters of the Universe, and then down that way ends up being Silverhawks and some Star Wars. Not much.
All right, I'll be right over. We're gonna unbox some toys and start playing. All right. Once again, GI Joburg is very grateful to its patrons and YouTube members. Your assistance every week, every month, help the channel immensely. Running costs et al. I can divvy up some of that money, and we can even get some toys, courtesy of you fine
Buy
folks.
you a Super 7.
Hey, there you go. Right on. And maybe hey, Brian Flynn, if you want to throw some endorsements our way, we'll happily review your product too.
That's what I'm saying. If not
Just
then,
saying.
Just saying too. Some of us, if we get an address through the chat, we can send you, one of these Super 7s, and you can review it on the GI Joburg. Put it in. Is it more of a shelf item and just to look at for accuracy, or is it a take it outside and put it through the Joburg test? I'm not doing the Hans Child test. Nope.
Look, there is no way anyone's going to send us toys and us not open them and play with them. So just know that will be the fate. Looking at you, Mr. Flynn. Come on. Send us some toys. All right. We're out. Andrew, enjoy your day. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time with the full house, perhaps.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yo, Joe.
Berg.